Tonight, shovels and snowblowers dragged out of summer hiding spots as Saskatchewan residents dig out after the first significant snowfall of the season. Also, more money to care for zebras at the Saskatoon Zoo through the winter, and charges against their former owner.
Left, right. Left, right.
Plus, a knockout opportunity. How a local boxing coach works with big brothers, big sisters to get more kids in the ring.
This is CBC Saskatchewan News.
It is Tuesday, October 24th, and the CBC Saskatchewan News starts right now. Good evening and thanks for watching. Saskatchewan residents woke up to a healthy blanket of snow this morning. Regina police say they responded to 12 crashes today. Most of them were minor. Just one collision this morning resulted in reported injuries. A City of Regina roadways manager says they were prepared and crews did spring to action this morning, mostly concerned with controlling ice.
We do have warmth in the ground, which holds the warmth in the pavement, so when that snow initially falls, it melts right away, and then it's covered up with more snow. So you have that layer of ice with snow on top of it. That poses challenges for motorists and everybody involved. That's why we get out there, with our ice control, try and get that snow and ice melted off that road and let the tires of the cars help with that.
Crashes in Saskatoon were worse, just between 6 and 9 this morning. Saskatoon police responded to 19 crashes, none though with serious injuries. RCMP meanwhile received more than 24 calls for weather-related traffic issues ranging from collisions to vehicles in the ditch. No surprise, tire shops had a flurry of phone calls today from customers eager to get their winter tires put on. So we hit the streets to see who's planning ahead.
2 days ago we had summer and now we got winter, so I had, now, yeah, I would think it's probably fairly hard to get a booking right now. I should have done it a week ago.
Did you change your tire?
Yes, I did. I changed them about a month ago.
Did you change your winter tire?
Not yet. This is a new car, and dealers say I can use both winter, summer and vacation. Summer and winter. So I'm just trying. There's a new winter for me with the car. So a bit scary for me, but let's see how far I can go.
Even though I have winter tires, I never know about the guy behind me or the guy coming through the intersection, right? I really think that in this climate, it's as important as seat belts.
Those have been on for a month. You should know that winter comes in Saskatchewan. Why would you run around with bald tires today? Like crazy, and then drive like an idiot. Have a good day.
So the big question is, while it seemed like a lot of snow, how much was it? Our weather specialist, Ethan Williams, joins me now. Ethan, inquiring minds need to know.
Yeah, well, here's the results right here. And it was quite a big amount. In the Kindersley-Rosetown area, storm chaser Jenny Hagen reporting 22 centimeters. These are all as of this morning, by the way. The Regina area actually picking up a bit more than was forecast. Around the 10 centimeter mark is where we kind of ended up. A lot of other places in south and central kind of in the 5 to 7 centimeter range. Not only are the city roads not very good, but at times highways not good either. And in fact, there is one road, Highway 334, 339, which kind of loops around from Briarcrest to Avonlea back over to Highway 6 and then up to 39. Travel not recommended on that road right now. That's just southwest of Regina. And unfortunately, we are in for another blast of winter because another system now impacts southeastern Saskatchewan going into tomorrow through Friday, Sam. Another 10 to 20 centimeters possible there. I'll have all the timing and details on that coming up a bit later.
Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
The first blast of winter is always a reminder of what's to come in the months ahead. And for people who are homeless, the search for shelter becomes more urgent. Ashwarya Duda reports.
As the temperatures drop, sleeping outside becomes too dangerous. Homeless people like 34-year-old Sarah have to take desperate measures. CBC has agreed not to use her last name. She tells us she has trespassed in apartment building foyers to escape the cold.
Yeah, we've done that.
The CEO of the Saskatchewan Landlord Association says there's been an increase in homeless people seeking refuge in the front entrance or lobby of apartment buildings. He calls it a health and security issue.
We've heard from our members across the province now that the weather's getting colder. We're continuing to see homeless individuals find their way into foyers and vestibules to find a place to sleep during the night.
Shaquette says building security often has to call the police to get people out of stairwells and foyers to protect the safety of the building and its residents. The Saskatoon Fire Department has 2 fire bylaw inspectors dedicated to dealing with people who break into empty buildings or trespass in private apartment buildings.
We did not expect that this would actually become full-time, and it does keep the 2 fire inspectors busy all day, every day.
The assistant fire chief says when they find people who don't have a place to stay, they offer to connect them to social services or another community organization to get them support. Sarah wants organizations to do more to help people find shelter.
They leave it entirely up to us, and I mean, yes, we should be able to do that, but sometimes some people just aren't good at it.
She says when she can't find a place to sleep inside, she pitches a tent, starts a fire, and uses garbage bags to break the wind. Aishwarya Duda, CBC News, Saskatoon.
The coming cold weather will be too much for 5 zebras staying at the Saskatoon Zoo. So the province has agreed to spend $120,000 to help care for them over the winter. The zebras appeared to be in good spirits today, but they'll need more protection when the temperatures drop below -8. Earlier this year, conservation officers seized the zebras from a rural Saskatchewan property during a captive wildlife investigation. The herd was moved to the Saskatoon Forestry Farm Park and Zoo. The manager says an indoor elk barn will have to be expanded to accommodate the zebras. That will take the $100,000, and another $20,000 will cover their food and other expenses.
Zebras obviously from Africa. They can't really handle the cold that we get up here in Saskatchewan. But anything below -8 to -10, they have to be indoors the entire time. And so right now our barn just isn't quite big enough yet for them. It's close, but it's not quite big enough. We're looking at doing an expansion, working with the province and working with the city. We've got them working together really, really well, which is really exciting. And hopefully here we'll be starting construction on it, adding an addition, another about 900 to 1,000 square feet onto our current barn, which will give us plenty of space to have the zebras during the winter.
The Ministry of Corrections, Policing and Public Safety confirms there are charges against the Saskatchewan man who had the zebras first. Nicholas Hazel will appear in Indian Head Circuit Court on November 7th. The town of White City, just east of Regina, is renewing its calls for a high school. The mayor says the town is growing fast with more than enough kids to justify a high school. Laura Sharpaletti reports.
Young children in White City can go to elementary school in the comfort of their community, but that's not the case when they hit high school. Students from White City and Emerald Park must go here to Greenall High School in Balgony, and it's nearing capacity. White City's mayor says they need their own high school, and the land for it has already been allocated.
One of the key elements with regard to the construction of schools is not only the money that it takes, the commitment to do that, but also the time it takes to do that. We're in a fast growth mode.
Both elementary schools in the community are over capacity. The mayor of White City says that by 2030, there's expected to be 600 high school age students in the town alone. That's not including the surrounding communities. As of today, a petition for a high school in White City has garnered over 700 signatures. This mother sends her elementary age children to Ecole White City.
It makes sense to have the students stay where they have been, right, and not to shift to a totally new place for high school.
The Prairie Valley School Division has been calling on the government to build a high school for the growing community for over a decade. The Saskatchewan NDP say White City and Emerald Park is the only joint community in Saskatchewan with a population of 5,000 that does not have a high school to match its needs.
These communities have waited patiently, again, for well over a decade, and enough is enough. And we say to the provincial government, if you're not willing to build this high school, the Saskatchewan NDP will get it done if elected in 2024.
In a statement to the CBC, the province said the major capital funding application for the high school project will once again be reviewed by the Ministry of Education for next year's budget. The province said Minister Jeremy Cockrell is set to meet with White City officials and the Prairie Valley School Division in November. Laura Sharpoletti, CBC News, White City.
Teachers across the province are voting on if they should take job action if necessary. The sanctions vote started today and continues tomorrow. The teachers' contract expired in August, and the Saskatchewan Teachers Federation says the provincial government is refusing to budge at the negotiating table.
Well, it's unfortunate that we've gotten to this place after months of negotiations. This government has not moved from their opening proposals at the bargaining table.
The head of the teachers union posted a video on social media last night declaring enough is enough. The union is calling for the government to improve their working conditions, including smaller class sizes and more classroom supports to assist with students who have complex needs. In the past, sanctions have included cutting voluntary extracurricular activities, such as coaching sports or rotating strikes.
Just continue to hear no, no, and no. And so the sanctions vote is a way to apply pressure. And we're hoping that it gets them to move off of their opening position or from the position of no and come back to the table and truly engage in real negotiations.
And I'm concerned by the strike vote that the union leadership is leading. The intention of this strike vote is to jeopardize those in-class and extracurricular activities from happening within our schools. We've been clear that we are at the bargaining table with a fair deal for teachers.
Education Minister Jeremy Cockrell released his own video on social media on Sunday. The STF says that refusing to give ground is not negotiating. The sanctions vote ends tomorrow afternoon. Saskatchewan MLAs return to the legislature tomorrow for the official start of the new session with the speech from the throne. Premier Scott Moe recalled the legislature 2 weeks ago for an emergency session to introduce the government's new parents' rights legislation. MLAs spent more than 40 hours discussing the issue. The bill passed on Friday. Moe also offered a preview of tomorrow's throne speech.
We will continue to focus on protecting Saskatchewan families when it comes to affordability measures that this government has in place, particularly in the area of housing. We'll see measures in the areas of investment attraction and job creation so that we can continue to build a strong economy and ultimately use that economy to build and strengthen our communities.
Last year, we saw the government pile on 32 fees and taxes and increase power bills 3 times while people are struggling. That needs to be the top priority, and that has been the top priority of the Saskatchewan NDP, because those are the things that we've been hearing about.
The Beck says the government should have used its emergency session to tackle health care and cost of living issues. The Lieutenant Governor will deliver the speech from the throne tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock. Do you have any expired or unused prescriptions at home right now? If you do, pharmacists want you to hand them over instead of throwing them out or flushing them down the toilet. It's part of an awareness campaign from the Pharmacy Association of Saskatchewan. The provincial government is chipping in $400,000 toward ads and to help pay for proper drug disposal. The goal is to prevent others from accidentally or intentionally taking unused medicine.
Here in the pharmacy, we often get, drugs that are coming in, in vials and bottles from like 1960, right? Back in glass bottles. So it is important, right? Because medications do go expired, and if a child takes them, incorrectly or, goes into grandma's medicine cabinet, right, it can definitely harm. So it is important to kind of bring expired, unwanted medications to any pharmacy in Saskatchewan.
Between last October and March, the Pharmacy Association says this campaign led to a considerable increase in medication returns. In that time, nearly 50,000 kilograms of drugs were handed over. If you ignore the fact that this is our reality for the next 6 months or so, it's actually really pretty outside today. Here's the thing, though. There's more snow on the way, and so yes, that means you're looking at snowsuits under costumes for Halloween next week. Ethan will have more on what's brewing in his forecast after the break. Stay with us.
This weather update is brought to you by Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. proud member of the Capital Automotive Group.
Welcome back. Our weather specialist, Ethan Williams, joins me now. And snow, yes, but also cold.
Yeah, temperatures well below normal for this time of year in some parts of the province. We are seeing a little bit of warmth in the southeast. That's about the only place where it is warm at the moment, close to the freezing mark. But you go north and west from there, and yeah, we're sitting in double-digit minus territory in places like Kindersley and Swift Current. Usually this part of the province is the warmest part of the province, but definitely not the case today. Won't be the case overnight either, as temperatures overnight drop near minus 15 in portions of southwestern and west central Saskatchewan. You factor in just a little bit of wind, though, it's going to make it feel like minus 25 overnight. So with these temperatures getting close to the minus 15 mark, may actually want to think about plugging in the car overnight tonight just in case. Getting into tomorrow, temperatures don't really rebound all that much. We'll struggle to get above minus 10, especially in the southwest. That looks to kind of be where the center of that cold air is. And then, yes, we have to talk about a little more snow, too, because this is what's left of that system that moved through our province overnight last night. Here's the snowfall warning area for the next band of snow, which is moving in, and that is here right now in Montana, where that will continue to intensify over the next 12 hours or so and then move into our province. And here's what we can kind of expect from that. I think probably by the mid-morning tomorrow, 9-10 a.m. or so, the first bands begin to move in, and it's really along the far southern part of the province. High pressure up here, going to start to clear things out in central Saskatchewan, but also keep this system pretty far south. Those bands continue to move through, especially the southeast as we head through tomorrow. But by the afternoon, evening hours, that's out of here until another lighter round moves in Thursday evening, but that probably won't bring us as much. Things finally clearing out as we head into the latter half of Friday. The first round definitely going to be bringing us the most amount of snow. I think we're mostly looking at 15 to possibly 20 centimeters by the end of day tomorrow. And again, even Rock Glen and Gravelburg, Val-Marie, we could see 5 to 10 centimeters in your neck of the woods. Again, not much being added as we head into Friday. We could hit the 20 centimeter mark in Estevan and far southeastern Saskatchewan. But for Regina, and for kind of north of the Trans-Canada Highway, we're really not expecting anything in terms of moisture. Just those cool temperatures again tomorrow with cloudy skies, feeling like minus 12 with that wind chill. And then the slow progression to warmer temperatures before we drop back off, just as we hit Halloween next Tuesday. But things, thankfully, are beginning to clear out, and it doesn't look like there are any major systems in our immediate future after that. Saskatoon, we could see the odd flurry tomorrow, but again, we're not looking for any significant moisture here. Things quickly clearing out as we head into Thursday, Friday. Cloudy conditions a bit for the weekend, but warming up a little bit. Could even hit the freezing mark Sunday before Halloween is a bit chilly. So I think everyone's going to be looking like the Michelin Man while trick-or-treating, Sam.
Those are the best costumes. I'm not even mad about it.
You're like, who are you? I don't know.
Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
Stay with us. We're back after the break.
When it comes to your news, you want up-to-the-minute access. Anytime, anywhere. Get the facts straight from the source. Download the free CBC News app or visit cbcnews.ca for news you can trust.
The National Hockey League is dropping a ban on players using tape on their sticks to back social causes. Earlier this month, the league sent a memo repeating there was a ban on making any changes to the players' on-ice gear during practices and warm-ups. Some teams had been doing that to reflect special event nights, like supporting the LGBTQ community. The NHL introduced the ban on pride tape and specialty jerseys after several players sparked controversy, refusing to participate in Pride Night activities. Arizona Coyotes defenseman Travis Dermott was the first player to defy the order, sporting pride tape on his stick over the weekend. Today, the league said players will have the option to represent social causes with stick tape throughout the season. Some Regina kids are learning to roll with the punches. The New Line Boxing Academy is offering a special class to about 20 kids with big brothers, big sisters. We tagged along.
Left, right. Left, right. Honestly, it was completely awesome.
Fast enough. Double up. So they're not really boxing like in a sense of fighting each other, but they're learning the art of boxing.
You see how I'm doing this when I jab?
It all started with a campaign to try to promote boxing, grow the sport of boxing, and produce champions. And one of my boxers actually met with the big brothers, and it's him who suggested that, brought the idea to me. It's like, hey coach, what would be a good idea? If we work with the big brothers and big sisters.
Don't do this, do this.
Moses had like these hoops on the ground. We had to jump into the hoops, make sure that we don't get out of bounds of them, and then after we had to run a lap around here and then do it again.
Boxing is a sport of discipline. Requires a lot of focus and concentration, which that can be related to other parts of life as well. So I feel that if children can learn to be disciplined at an early age, can learn to channel the anger, the frustration in a positive way, it will factor into other parts of their life. And it's not just about boxing, get in the ring and fight. It's about me teaching them. I want them to acquire those skills so then that can feed into the other parts of their life and help them become the citizens we all aspire them to be. Make sure you're not turning, don't turn the body. Just reach over here and bend your knee like this. Like this, you keep your body straight. And at the same time, they're also getting in, they get in some physical fitness, physical activity with it as they do that. So the size of the class can be a little bit large for one coach to coach by myself. So the big brothers and big sisters, they come along and I teach them how to teach the classes, how to help with the teaching, and they are hands-on coaches like that. I got a very positive feedback from both the parents, the mentors, and the kids themselves.
One of the other kids that was here, we were facing off against each other. That was also very fun.
Boxing builds character, but you can't just expect character to be built on its own. It doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires some kind of a structure, and that structure has to be nurtured. And it's the nurturing of that structure that will produce the character. The participants involved in the sport, they need to understand that you're not going to win every time you get in the match. You're not gonna lose all the time. But it's the consistent, the determination to overcome, to face obstacles. That's what's going to make you a winner. And that's what I try to teach to the kids. You lose some, you win some, but you live to fight another day.
You don't want to? Yes. I was exhausted, but hell, it was fun.
Well, Ethan, you putting in work as well with one last look at our forecast?
Oh, yeah, I'm punching back against winter over here, trying my best, but it's got a firm hold on all of us. -10 tonight in Regina, feeling like -15 with the wind chill. We may see some breaks in the clouds, but those will be right back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., -10. And again, winds not very strong, but we're going to continue to see that wind chill into the mid-minus teens. Likely not just in the morning, but as we get into the afternoon too. We're looking at mostly overcast skies as we hit the noon hour. For Saskatoon, again, similar things here. We're looking for partly cloudy skies around -10 overnight tonight. And then for you folks, I think you actually will get a little bit of clearing in the morning. It may still be a little bit cloudy. Wake up wind chill of -20 though, and then full clearing by the afternoon. Just sad that I have to use the winter mode on this shot now, Sam.
Thanks, Ethan.
You bet.
That is it for us tonight. For News Anytime, you can always head to our website, subscribe to the CBC Saskatchewan YouTube channel, or download the handy CBC News app. Ethan and I will be back with more local news and weather at 11. Thanks for watching and have a great night. Stay warm.